Thanks for tuning in, guys. We got another quick, easy fly to tie here. It's a pheasant tail nymph known as the teeny nymph. It's real easy to tie. One material, just using some pheasant tail. If you stick around to the end, I've got a great bonus section where I add a couple materials, put my little bit of a flare on it. It's a great, easy tie. It's also a great guide fly. Great for catching fish, especially rainbow trout and Dolly Varden here up in Alaska. Believe it or not, we got some great nymphing up here, some great dry fly action. It's no longer a secret, I just let it out, but hope you enjoy the video. Stick around, you're going to like it. All right, time to get right into tying the teeny nymph. This is literally just a fly with one material. All it is some pheasant tail. All right, so this is basically a pheasant tail nymph. I've already got a hook in the vise. This is a Mustad S80 3906 and a size 8. This is a 3X hard hook. You know, the only reason why I have a preference for Mustad and these types of flies, these quick, easy ties, are they're durable, they're cheap. I mean, this is like $6-8 for just a little, 50 pack. And that 3X, really helps for bigger fish. I've got some UNI-Thread in the vise. I'm going to go ahead and snip off a little bit of this pheasant tail, roughly about an inch of this stuff. Going to snip that off. And I've got the thread all the way back to about the hook point. And it's a little bit difficult fly to tie in the fact that, the hackle that you're going to have hanging off, this is essentially going to be the throat of this fly. It's hard to get it exactly right. You have to do this fly a few times because you're going to end up wrapping this forward. Going to bring our thread right about where we'll start our hook or the head of our fly. We're just going to start wrapping this pheasant tail forward. Touching turns. And I'm not using hackle pliers, but you could certainly use hackle pliers. I'm just going to keep going forward here. And if you get some that unwind, you can just kind of either restart it like that, or go ahead and you can snip off the ones that don't quite make it. All right. I'm going to work this forward. There's one that popped out. We'll grab that. And I like this technique here where you lift up with your right hand, push down with your left finger, index finger. It just helps keep it in check. Once you get to about this point, that's essentially what the fly is going to look like. It's going to have a little bit of a throat like that. We're going to trap those remaining fibers here. Going to grab these with my right hand. I'm going to wrap with my left here. So we're almost done. You can see we've got those fibers kind of hanging forward. We want them to go backwards towards the hook point here. So we'll fold them back and we'll tie right back over the top of them just a little bit here. And you'll see that they'll lay back nicely. It's about the length that you want. If you get a little bit long, no big deal. It's designed to look like little swimming legs. Though this is a super easy fly, it's not the most durable. What you're going to want to watch for here is some of these fibers breaking. You can tie in some thin wire, and counter wrap that, which will help lock in those fibers. I'm going to go ahead and grab my whip finishing tool. We're just about done with the teeny nymph. Going to make the head here. This is a great trout fly. Believe it or not, this works awesome in Alaska in June and July and even early August when the trout are real picky. They're heavy nymph eaters, so something that really might shock some people that we have some nymph eating trout up here, but they love them. You can finish that off with a little cement, a little bit of glue, but that's it. That's the teeny nymph. It can be tied in black and other colors. Pheasant tail comes in a lot of different colors, so feel free to have at it. Other sizes too, anywhere probably from a size 14, 12, 10, 8, even 6s. You're going to have to use a little bit longer fibers, but that should be a winner for you. Thanks for watching. Welcome to the bonus section of this fly tying video. We're going to tie the teeny nymph and a little bit of a kind of my variation of it. Because on the previous tie, we just tied those pheasant tail fibers in with really no protection. In this case, we're going to add some small copper Ultrawire, UTC Ultrawire. That's already tied in. I've got my thread base. I've got my wire tied in. I'm going to go ahead and grab a section of pheasant tail here, right about 1/4 of an inch of this. And we're also going to add a little bit of a bonus kind of head or thorax, a little bit of color to it. And I'll let you know how we're going to do that when we get up to that point. We're going to tie these fibers in going forward and wrap our thread to about where we'll want to stop this fly and build our head. We'll begin to wrap our pheasant tail fibers forward. Like I said, I like to wrap with my right, pinch it with my left index finger, almost roll it around the shank with my left. That just helps keep these fibers in order. And we're going to do something a little bit different at the end of this fly that we did not do on the previous fly, where we will actually leave these tied forward for now. So we'll go ahead and tie these loose fibers, leaving them forward. When we counter wrap our wire, they'll just those fibers will stay out of our way. When you're counter wrapping, you just want to make nice, as even as you can wraps. They don't have to be pretty, but you know, it's kind of personal preference how crazy you want to get with how beautiful that looks. This is a fishing fly. It's not necessarily a fly that you're going to be showing off to your buddies. And to get this wire out, you can just give it a little twist. Alright. Now what we're going to do is going to take all these fibers that are kind of out of control, and we're going to pinch them down, get them where we want them, rolled underneath the fly here. They're going to take and wrap our thread. Go ahead and hold these. We're going to wrap our thread back over these fibers. And get them to lay down. Once you get them laid down the way you want them, I like how that's starting to look. That's basically, you could finish a fly there. You don't have to add this colored head or thorax to it. But I'm just going to take a little bit of Hareline orange ice dubbing. This is kind of one of my best kept secrets, is this little bit of gold or orange color in here. And you can make a nice dubbing noodle, and the way you do that is you just kind of roll it on, make a nice thin little bit of dubbing. And it doesn't take many turns of this to give it a nice bit of color. You don't need a whole lot of this. And as you're wrapping, you're going to spin that on one direction when you're spinning this, and just build that up nicely. Fold some of those fibers back, and then you can go ahead and finish it off. Give yourself a nice little head here. And just like the previous fly, you could leave it whip finished or add some glue. I'll probably add some glue. Most of these, nymphs, unless you're kind of keeping them up in the water column a little bit, you're most likely going to be grinding them on the bottom a little bit. So we're going to make it as durable as we can. 2 whip finishes there. I'll snip it off. And I kind of trap some of these fibers with that dubbing. We'll just kind of pull them down into shape. And there's the completed, upgraded, kind of Dave's version of the teeny nymph. Hopefully you catch some fish on it. Super easy, still kind of a beginner level fly. Something I use as a guide all the time. I mean, I'm using this daily. So something I think you should throw into your arsenal as well. Thanks for watching, guys.